In one of the opening shots of episode 7 of Mandalorian season 3, The Spies, we get Grogu sitting on Bo-Katan's lap as she is flying her shuttle to Navarro. Is this just a coincidence? Or is there a greater meaning to this, especially with Din Djarin being captured at the end of the episode? In today's video, we're going to be exploring the possibility of Bo-Katan becoming Grogu's mother and potentially replacing Din as Grogu's sole parent and lead of the Mandalorian show. So we'll be breaking the video up into two different scenarios, and the first case scenario we'll be looking at is just the possibility of Bo-Katan becoming Grogu's mom and parenting Grogu with the help of Din in the BoDin relationship. So we'll call it the BoDin scenario of them two doing it together. However, our second possible scenario, we'll be looking at Bo-Katan replacing Din altogether, and we'll be looking at the evidence that supports this possibility of Bo-Katan replacing him. Before we get started, smash like. It took a while to put together this all for you guys. Subscribe for more videos. Now let's begin.
You taught your apprentice well.
You didn't learn that from me.
Now, by now, there's a good chance you may have seen one of my BoDin videos that I have been covering. Essentially, ever since the reintroduction of Bo-Katan in Season 3, Bo and Din just have kept getting closer and closer. I mean, it started with Bo saving his life, to them being intimately and physically close to each other, sitting at a campfire, to them going on a romantic date and detour together as some detectives, to then Din literally sharing some very intimate and close words and vow in the last episode we watched. It's pretty obvious by now that Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are extremely close and have kept getting closer this whole season. I mean, Bo is literally banging on the glass when is being captured by Gideon's forces in the episode. It clearly touches her immensely. And all this time during the season spending with Din has meant spending time and getting closer with Grogu as well. I mean, as early as episode 2 in the season, we already have seen Grogu and Bo in the caves of Mandalore on their own. And they have some dialogue between themselves where Bo literally says, "Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?" I mean, bro, that's a type of line to, pave way for somebody else to shine. It really makes you wonder about the show's intentions with that. The mother-son dynamic is even furthered when they go to the Children of the Wa covert, and while Grogu is training there, we get some important scenes with Bo-Katan helping equip Grogu with the dart gun and also give him a pad of encouragement, some physical affection between them. This just shows that motherly support that Grogu would get with Bo-Katan as a mom. By the midpoint of the season, Grogu is already riding in the front of Bo's ship and opting to sit next to Bo instead of Din. And when there are plans to meet with Axe Wolves to recover her fleet, and when their ship gets taken over, Bo-Katan makes a joke to Grogu about how they're going for a ride, showing that connection further. And then this leads us to episode 7, where Grogu is literally sitting on Bo-Katan's lap as the three of them are going to Navarro. It's almost like they want us to notice and accept this closeness between them, possibly foreshadowing something.
Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?
As this season has gone on, the original principles of Mandalorian season 1 and 2 have seemed to shift. The show we know and love has always been about Din and Grogu, but it seems as the season has gone on, it's not as much the case anymore. I would say that Bo-Katan actually has a larger role than Din as of late, especially since getting the darksaber back that she had originally lost. The last episode was all about Bo-Katan leading the Mandalorians back to Mandalore and also leading the scout team. And by the end of it, Din gets captured and taken away, leaving Bo-Katan and Grogu on their own yet again. And I've got to say, I've heard some interesting things and just have seen some interesting things online about what might be the reasoning as to why Bo-Katan is getting the spotlight and Din is being pushed to the side. So let's get into that and take a look at, what are the possible reasons as to why this is, and just take a closer look at some of the other supporting evidence that is just supporting this idea. So one of the main things I've seen and just heard from people online, and this is potentially a spoiler warning, is that Din Djarin may actually be killed off or have his mind wipe or something similar to shove him to the side for now. And you might be saying to me right now, or going to the comment section, oh, but Bismo, they wouldn't kill off Mando. They wouldn't kill off Din Djarin. He's the heart of the show. He's why everybody watches. Well, sometimes it's not that simple. From a business perspective, yeah, that would be a dumb move in my opinion. But sometimes companies don't have the luxury of making those decisions. It's a bit more complicated than that. I'm sure some of you have heard the rumors of the relationship between Pedro Pascal and Jon Favreau, and how there was a little bit of tension between them dating back to season 2 on set, where there was a disagreement between Pedro wanting to show his face more, and the situation kind of escalated between them, and that's apparently kind of what had happened. And there's a lot of theories as to like that's why Mando was off air for almost 2.5 years. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but what is true though is Pedro Pascal was not actually there for the principal filming of season 3. He only did voiceovers for the character. It was mostly Brendan Wayne and another character in for pretty much the entire season. So yeah, I mean, that's a little bit sussy. So bro, Brendan Wayne, the stunt double for Din, literally put this on his story: the next episode is gonna make you wish you hadn't asked for more. It might just hurt to watch. Is that not a little conspicuous? Like, bro, I don't know if you say something like that unless a major character is gonna be killed off. And with Din being captured, and just the way this season has been going with Bo-Katan, you know, being a little bit more the focus. I mean, she has the darksaber now. I mean, they literally show Grogu sitting in her lap when Din is literally there with him. And I'm saying the word literally too much, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. But, you know, is Din gonna be killed off like this? Like, I hope not. Then we don't get BoDin. But seriously though, I mean, he's one of my favorite characters, but I mean, just looking at the situation itself, and then just kind of looking at the evidence, a lot of people are saying online as well. I mean, if you go on Twitter, people are saying, you hear a couple different things. There's one thing I hear, that the finale is going to be very controversial, and that just makes me points more to, is Din gonna die? You know, I mean, maybe Bo dies, but I just don't see that being possible given just the circumstances of everything. But then again, Dave Filoni said that the finale will have fans just taking a lot in, but also cheering. So maybe everyone's okay. But I mean, it's just tough to deny that there's not at least a chance that they actually do kill off Din, simply because Pedro doesn't want to be as involved anymore and move forward with Bo-Katan being that mother to Grogu, so they can continue with the Mandalorian show for season 4. And with one of the actors, you know, Brendan Wayne playing Din Djarin, just saying that it might hurt too much in regards to the finale, that just doesn't bode well. Then again, those rumors might have been far-fetched or not so true, because recently there was an interview where Pedro said he would be down to do a movie, the Star Wars movie that Dave Filoni is directing. So maybe he is fine. It's encouraging when Dave Filoni says that although the fans will have, you know, a lot to take in. I mean, if we're really cheering, I don't think that, it's tough to believe that Din would be dead. I don't think people would be cheering over that. And again, from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense. But also, Jon Favreau, in an interview, he was taking ideas from Game of Thrones about being not so predictive. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, in literally the first season, they kill off the main character. Like, I don't know why he's referencing that. That's giving me the chills as well. But then again, what if Din like sacrifices himself in some epic way to like save Grogu, save Bo-Katan, they still kiss or something of some sort, but he gets separated, or that's how he dies, you know, out with a bang? Like, maybe we'd still be cheering if they did it well, but it's still very tough to say. And like I said, I hope neither him nor Bo get killed off. That would be horrible, but nonetheless, I'm excited for next week's finale. Maybe they deal with the current threat in the finale, and Bo-Katan becomes queen and holds the title of Mandalore, and then the show's focus is more back on Din, but we'll see. I want to know what you guys think of this whole thing in the comments. Will Bo-Katan become Grogu's new mother? Will she replace Din as the main Mandalorian in the show? Let me know, and make sure to smash like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.